There was a moment when the entire internet felt hijacked by one human being. You couldn't scroll without seeing him. You couldn't open your phone without his face screaming back at you in neon colors. Every meme page, every reaction video, every blog, every comment section. One name, one image, one walking, talking explosion of chaos. 6IX9INE didn't enter the rap game politely. He didn't grind quietly. He didn't slowly build respect. He kicked the door down like a cartoon villain and set the whole room on fire. Rainbow hair hanging like a glitch in real life. Tattoos crawling across his face like warnings. Teeth shining with diamonds so bright they looked fake. And that voice. Loud, aggressive, unapologetic. It wasn't music you listened to softly. It was music that punched you in the chest. Suddenly every clip of him felt dangerous. Every video felt like it might get banned. And that's exactly why people couldn't look away. The crazy part is how fast it happened. One day he was just another kid uploading tracks online. The next day he was breaking into the mainstream like a riot. No slow climb. No warm-up. Just instant virality. Songs exploding overnight. Views stacking like lottery numbers. Millions and millions of people watching just to see what insane thing he'd do next. It didn't matter if you loved him or hated him. Hate watching counted too. Curiosity counted. Outrage counted. Every click fed the machine. He understood something most artists never figure out. Attention is currency, and controversy prints money faster than talent ever could. So he went louder, brighter, more ridiculous. Private jets in the background. Mountains of cash on camera. Chains thick enough to anchor a boat. He wasn't flexing. He was screaming wealth in your face. Older hip-hop heads rolled their eyes. Critics called him a clown. Purists said he was everything wrong with the culture. But the internet generation didn't care. To them, he wasn't trying to be traditional. He was a character, a living meme, a superhero built for the algorithm. And for a while, it worked perfectly. He became less like a rapper and more like an event. Every appearance felt like chaos was guaranteed. You tuned in just to see what might go wrong. And somehow, nothing ever did. The louder he got, the more famous he got. The more outrageous he acted, the more numbers exploded. It started to feel like he'd hacked reality itself. But fame built on shock has a dangerous side effect. After a while, crazy stops being enough. You need bigger risks, bigger headlines, bigger stunts. And that's when the line between performance and real life starts to blur. Because pretending to be dangerous is one thing. Actually stepping into danger is something else entirely. And he didn't just flirt with the image of being untouchable. He wanted the streets to believe it too. He wanted the world to think he wasn't acting. So he reached for something darker, something heavier, something that couldn't be turned off when the camera stopped rolling. Suddenly the jokes weren't jokes anymore. The gangster talk wasn't just lyrics. He tied himself to people who didn't play pretend, people who didn't care about clout or streams, people whose world doesn't come with a safety net. At first, it looked like just another layer of marketing. Another costume. Another way to make the character feel real. And the internet ate it up. The story got juicier. The stakes felt higher. The myth grew. He looked fearless. Untouchable. Like nothing could ever reach him. But here's the problem nobody talks about. When you build your career around danger, eventually danger shows up for real. And when it does, there's no delete button. No retake. No reset. And what happened next didn't just shake the industry. It changed the entire trajectory of his life forever. You think you know the story. You don't. Because the moment everything flipped, nobody saw it coming. Not the fans. Not the haters. Not even him. And trust me, what happens next is where the movie really starts. So if you're still watching, hit that hype button, drop your thoughts below, and don't go anywhere, because part 2 gets way darker. If you made it this far, don't forget to comment and tap like right now. The next part is where everything spirals, and you're going to want to be here when it does. Picture this. You're at the absolute top. Every song trends. Every post goes viral. Money flows so fast you stop counting. Security around you at all times. Cameras everywhere. You start believing you're bulletproof. That consequences are something that happens to other people. That you can keep stacking chaos forever and nothing will snap back. That's exactly the headspace he seemed to be in. The character had grown so big it swallowed the person underneath. The lines between rapper and real life blurred into nothing. And then, one morning, everything changed. Not slowly, not gradually, instantly. Federal agents, serious charges, words that don't belong in rap lyrics anymore, words that belong in courtrooms. Suddenly, this wasn't entertainment. This was prison time. The kind of time that steals decades. The kind of time where your career dies, quietly while the world forgets your name. Headlines exploded. Fans froze. Haters celebrated. The same controversy that used to fuel his rise now felt terrifying. Because this wasn't a diss track or online beef. This was real life closing in. The image of being a fearless outlaw stopped being cool and started looking reckless. And for the first time, he looked human, scared, vulnerable, trapped in a system far bigger than any viral moment. Then came the decision that split the world in half. The choice that would follow him forever. To survive, he talked. He cooperated. He told stories nobody expected him to tell. And legally, it saved him. But culturally, socially, in the world he built his persona around, it detonated everything. Overnight, the same crowd that treated him like a legend started calling him the one word no rapper ever wants attached to their name. Loyalty vanished. Respect evaporated. The internet turned into a firing squad of opinions. Some said he was smart for protecting himself. Others said he betrayed everything he claimed to stand for. And that label stuck harder than any tattoo. But here's the part that feels unreal. Instead of hiding, instead of disappearing quietly, instead of trying to rebuild slowly, he came back louder than ever. Almost like he wanted the hate. Almost like he knew rage was still attention. He leaned into the insults, mocked the critics, dropped new music with the same screaming energy. Videos went viral again. Millions of views in hours. It was like watching someone walk through a storm smiling. For a second, it almost felt like he'd beaten the system, like he'd figured out how to turn even betrayal into marketing. People kept clicking, kept arguing, kept watching, and every click still counted. But numbers on a screen can lie. Streams don't always equal stability. Views don't always equal money. Behind the scenes, something else was happening. Contracts, advances, expectations. When you sign a massive deal, that money isn't a gift. It's a loan disguised as success. And if the sales don't match the hype, the debt starts growing quietly in the background like a ticking clock. Suddenly every flop matters. Every underperforming project hurts. The spectacle might still be loud, but the math starts whispering a very different story. And whispers like that have a way of turning into disasters. What he tried next surprised everyone. And honestly, it might have been the move that pushed things past the point of no return. Because when the music stopped carrying the weight, he went hunting for money somewhere else. And that decision would drag fans, friends, and even strangers into a mess nobody saw coming. And trust me, the fallout from that? Way worse than any diss track. Way worse than any courtroom moment. Part 3 is where the illusion finally cracks wide open. So stay with me. Like the video, hit hype, and let's finish this. If you've been writing this story with me, this is where you absolutely smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and press the hype option so this video spreads. The ending hits different, and I want you here for every second. When the spotlight starts fading, people get desperate, and desperation makes you gamble. New ventures, new promises, new ways to cash in. He jumped into digital trends, flashy online schemes, quick money projects that sounded futuristic and foolproof. The pitch was simple. Easy profits, exclusive access, trust the brand, trust the name. And fans believed him. They always had. But markets crash. Hype dies. And when the dust settled, a lot of people felt burned. Suddenly the relationship between him and his audience wasn't excitement anymore. It was suspicion. Every move started looking less like entertainment and more like survival. Meanwhile, the real world kept stacking problems. Lawsuits, claims, tax issues, bills piling up faster than hits. The luxury lifestyle that once looked untouchable started looking fragile. Security teams cost money. Cars cost money. Mansions cost money. And when income slows down, those same symbols of success become anchors dragging you underwater. Stories began surfacing about assets disappearing, things being taken, things being sold. The same jewelry that used to blind the camera lights now showing up in auctions. The same cars that filled music videos now gone. The image cracked. The myth cracked. The illusion cracked. And without that armor of money and protection, the world felt colder, meaner, less forgiving. Fame doesn't protect you forever. Eventually you have to walk outside like everyone else. And when you've spent years provoking the world sometimes remembers. The bravado that once looked funny suddenly looked risky. Every public appearance carried tension. Every headline felt heavier than the last. And the music, it just didn't hit the same. The noise that once shook the internet now barely made a ripple. That might be the saddest part. Not the charges, not the debt, not the drama. Just silence where there used to be chaos. From unstoppable phenomenon to cautionary tale. From viral king to struggling comeback attempts. It's wild how fast it happened. One era you're the loudest person alive. The next, you're fighting just to stay relevant. And it makes you wonder, was it bad luck? Bad decisions? Bad people around him? Or was it always inevitable? Because when your entire empire is built on shock, eventually people stop being shocked. And when they stop being shocked, they stop watching. And when they stop watching, everything else collapses. So here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. Do you think he could ever pull off a real comeback? Or was the fall baked into the rise from day one? I genuinely want to know what you think. Type your take below. Hit the hype button so more people join the debate. And like this video if you want more deep dive stories, just like this. Because trust me, the world of fame has a lot more unbelievable crashes left to uncover.